Do you know for sure if they're going to sue, and on what grounds could they sue the administration here?
There are unconfirmed reports that they are going to sue as early as Tuesday, but we'll wait and see. And they may have some grounds to do so, but it's going to be an uphill battle because federal law, particularly the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, gives the president pretty broad and really undefined power to halt transactions or prevent transactions between U.S. entities and foreign entities if he makes a finding that there is some national threat that is localized in some foreign country. And that's what he's done here, saying that these social media companies are collecting data, collecting information, which, by the way, is what these companies do. Because the product is in many cases free with social media, right, we all are the product. But the only major difference here is that the owner is a Chinese national owner, in that it is a country that President Trump has made a finding poses some national threat for collecting all of this information.
Reports say that they want to sue the president, the administration, on grounds that due process was not followed. In other words, there was no back and forth discussion between the administration and TikTok officials about all of this, about national security issues, about the technology involved in everything. They just came out and issued this executive order. Did the president have the authority to do that? And what do you think of the TikTok position that due process was not followed here?
Executive orders exist in a gray area. The Constitution doesn't say anything about them, but just over the years it's been interpreted that the president has the power not to make law. He cannot make law that is Congress's province, but he can issue executive orders in the administration of the law or the enforcement of the law. And of course, it's a gray area because at what point, if he builds upon a federal statute, does the president start to create his own law? And over the years, the Supreme Court has carved out a test where if the president acts against the expressed will of Congress, then that is the situation where his executive order is most likely to be overturned by a court. And then even Congress has some power to overturn an executive order, sometimes even by a finding by Congress. So there are many ways to attack an executive order. These private plaintiffs will have to argue that their due process rights were violated. They didn't have an opportunity to at least be heard. But again, an uphill battle for these private plaintiffs.
In the meantime, I mean, the president's executive order of Thursday put a 45-day deadline on getting a deal done. If there is a lawsuit filed tomorrow, does the clock stop? Do you know? You know, if I'm Microsoft, does it give me more time to continue negotiations if I'm waiting for the litigation to be solved in the meantime?
If the clock stops, the plaintiffs filing that suit, the companies, are going to have to ask a court to actually make it stop. And we've seen a lot of these during the Trump administration, applications for what are called TROs, temporary restraining orders, injunctive relief. And these are things a court can award money, or it can force people to do or not do things. And that, again, is a real challenge for courts. They don't like to force people to do or not do things, so they have to show that they're likely to win and that some crisis, some catastrophe will result if a restraining order isn't issued. But on its own, the mere filing of a lawsuit does nothing to stop that 45-day clock. The plaintiffs in this case are going to have to ask a court to intervene and somehow put a halt to the clock ticking on this executive order.